Gonna react to another Tim Cass episode. You know, apparently a guy got shot in the eye, or somebody, not a guy, a person got shot in the eye. Fucking crazy. That shit's fucking crazy. But yeah, let's get into it.
Protester who assaulted federal officers was shot in the face with what appears to be a pepper ball. He says this has permanently blinded him. Now, the narrative from the left is that he was struck by a non-lethal weapon, and now he's blind, and it's egregious because he was a peaceful protester. So let me just give you the quick gist before we play the video and break it all down for you, and you can decide for yourself. The guy was running towards federal agents as they were making an arrest. It appears they used a pepper ball, so there's not going to be metal. Likely, it's likely just plastic. It is likely this young man was blinded over this incident. The important thing to understand: federal agents are not community affairs officers or crowd control. They are enforcing federal law. When a protester goes out and they think they're playing a game with their bullhorn, you get local cops. And they say, look, the local cops need to make sure there's no violence, but we understand we don't want death or anything like this. Federal agents, I'm surprised, even have crowd control munitions, to be completely honest, because they don't do this sort of thing. The important thing to understand is, I'm going to play this video for you.
Well, Trump doesn't want, a lot of people dying, like, it's going to look bad. Him and Christy Holmes don't want, like, a bunch of deaths, obviously. We've seen in the media how shit's going because of Renee Good got shot, and other people are apparently getting shot with rubber bullets, so it makes sense why they're giving them some non-lethal guns,
People are attacking the cops. The people that are, I should say, DHS agents, they're not cops. I'm going to be perfectly clear. Technically and factually correct. Federal agents are attempting to make arrests. This man charges up, we don't know what his intent was, and he takes a pepper ball to the face. That's assault on an officer. Understand the distinction. People often think assault means to make physical contact with. In some jurisdictions, that is true. But typically, an assault is creating the reasonable fear of harm in an individual. That is to say, if you draw a weapon on a cop, you are assaulting a federal officer, and they can shoot you because you've created a reasonable fear of harm. That's not what happened in this circumstance, but we do have video. I want to show you first, and then read the news report. And then I'll read to you what Ed Krasenstein says about it. Let me play the clip. You can see here, the weapon that the agent is holding appears to be a pepper ball gun. For those that aren't familiar, it's like a paintball, but it's pepper. They hurt a lot, but not really that bad, to be honest. Like, you've been hit by a paintball, right? It stings, but you get a bruise, maybe. One time I was in, I think it was Baltimore, and I was crouched behind a large cylindrical planter, had plants in it. And a riot control agent in Baltimore fired a pepper ball at the side of it, shattering it and spraying my face with pepper and plastic bits. I was not injured, but man, did that suck. I've seen cops and, I've actually never seen federal agents do this, but I've seen cops target journalists and protesters, and they use these riot control weapons like this. In this instance, and I have a viral video where I'm holding a press card in Anaheim, and they just start shooting at me, and I have to run for it. I have seen cops do things that I think are wrong. In this instance, they are charging at the cop. Let me play the rest of the video. I'll play it again for you. You can see there's blood pouring down this young man's face. He is dragged away. They said that he went to the hospital for a cut, though we do have an image, I believe, from this report of the injury, and it looks like it's to the side, which caused massive swelling. Let me play the video for you one more time before we read the assessment, just so you can, again, get a general idea. And I wonder if I can actually slow this down a little bit. Let's do half speed. And so you can really, really take it in. Okay, let's just start from the beginning. This cop, this agent, I keep saying cop because it's law enforcement, right? Grabs the guy, and what does the guy do? He then punches, right here, punch the agent, knocking him back. Other agents then grab him. Understand, these officers, these agents, were just physically attacked by a guy who punched the cop. This woman starts running towards the police. Why are they doing this? Now, I believe this is in Los Angeles, but I've already shown all of you. In fact, I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to pull it up to make sure.
Yeah, these people are fucking retarded. Like, bro, what don't you understand? Like, it's not like what's happening is like like the government's being taken over by like radical people who are like trying to instill like an authoritarian regime. Like that is not what's happening. Like the shit that like these people are fighting for is like it's retarded. It's like if somebody is illegal or somebody's doing illegal things, like you deserve the consequences, you know? Like these people are fucking retarded. Like what did you expect? If you're gonna run at and attack a police officer, bro, this is another situation. That dude's probably like, bop, 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 bop. Like he doesn't know if you're gonna come out with a knife at all. Like, bop, 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 bop. Like you're dead. The fuck are you doing? Like, dude.
We have this here. Minnesota Ice Watch instructing people on how to assault officers. It starts with what's called de-arrest. Then you have this. See this right here? The individual is launching a downward strike on a police officer. And you can see this individual pulling them from the back. These people, maybe not specifically in LA, but these activists train each other on assaulting cops and federal agents. After this cop was punched, this woman, you can see her, she runs up to him. Now the police have to deal with several individuals, charging them after being assaulted to make an arrest, where this guy, additionally, 3 people are now running full speed and are only deterred when this officer pulls out what appears to be his pepperball gun and shoots him in the face, stopping him dead in his tracks. If you are being beaten, struck, and resisted, this is felony assault on an officer, and 3 people start charging at you, they have additionally assaulted officers, agents. I believe assaulted an officer. He takes a shot to the face and falls down. The police then move. Now look at this. This guy's still fighting him. This guy even tries to spear him. You see how he gets down and he tries to shove
wrestling
into his
move.
body?
You know, some wrestling
Boom,
moves.
right there. Look at that. He's attacking this guy the whole time. The woman is now semi-crouched with her hands up, and the dude who got shot in the face is on the ground, and he gets grabbed, and I believe he receives criminal charges. Cop falls down. Okay. Now here's the report from Fox 11. His name is Caden Rumler, 21 years old. He was with protesters Friday night in Santa Ana when he and a fellow protester were pulled out by federal officers. Over the phone from the hospital, he says an officer shot a non-lethal weapon point blank at his face. He will never regain his vision, doctors tell him. He insists he was not being violent and that he was holding a loudspeaker when he was grabbed. Do you see the game we're playing? I showed you the guy punched the cop. They made a move to arrest. He punches one of the agents. I keep saying cop, right? You get it, though. This guy, a woman, and another guy start running towards the police as they're making an arrest and being attacked, and they stop them. Now, do you want to play the game of intent? By all means. He was simply intending to run up and politely talk to the officers. I don't think a reasonable person would conclude that.
Nope.
I believe the only thing we can assess is that he was stopped dead in his tracks before performing what's called a de-arrest, where they physically attack officers. This post says, often combined with tactic 1, this tactic is probably the most risky as it requires physical contact with an officer, which could lead to assault on an officer charges or escalate the LEO response. It's plain as day what we are seeing. They were attempting to, quote-unquote, de-arrest, which includes the tactic of making, quote-unquote, physical contact with an officer. So they used a less lethal, not non-lethal, to stop this guy who was running at them. OSC supervisors, who were an earlier part of the protest Friday, said they are disturbed by video of the exchange, especially because local authorities are not getting any information from the feds. So they can't investigate or try to hold anyone accountable for what happened. Indeed. The other protester who spoke at a press conference echoes that. Both refute a Department of Homeland Security statement that was sent to Fox 11, which says, on January 9th, a mob of about 60 rioters threw rocks, bottles, and fireworks at law enforcement officers outside the federal building in Santa Ana. 2 officers were injured, 2 violent rioters were arrested, and were charged with assault on a federal officer and disorderly conduct. This was a highly coordinated campaign of violence where rioters wielded shields. One of the rioters, who was arrested for disorderly conduct, was taken to the hospital for a cut and was released that night. Make no mistake, rioting and assaulting law enforcement is not only dangerous, but a crime. Secretary Nome has been clear, any rioter who obstructs or assaults law enforcement will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And now for our good friend Ed Krasenstein's statement, the liberal guy who's batting 1,000 and always being wrong. He says, I mean morally wrong, mind you. This is outrageous. A peaceful 21-year-old protester who was shot point blank in the face by a DHS ICE agent with a supposedly non-lethal round, leaving him permanently blind, skull fractured, shards of metal and glass lodged near his carotid artery, and forced into 6 hours of surgery just to save his life. How is this acceptable? When will law enforcement be held accountable for brutalizing Americans exercising their right to protest? This is state violence, not crowd control. Federal agents don't do crowd control. Local cops do. Federal agents enforce the law. And if you're attacking them, what do you expect? Let me show you again. Here's the guy punching a cop. Here's the guy again punching a federal officer. Boom. Can I just, like, it's, boom. Peaceful. When you run full speed, look at her face as she's yelling. They're intending to go after the cops, and they back off when the cops aim weapons at them. And this guy only stops. He's running forward, and then he gets shot in the face, and that stops him in his tracks. Listen, I'm not going to play psychic games with you. I don't know what he was going to do. I can only tell you that if a guy is attacking cops and they're trying to arrest him, and you run towards him, the perception is threat, an assault on an officer for which he was charged. And we don't know what he was going to do after the fact, but he was stopped only when they used a less lethal round on him. Now, one might argue they should have aimed low. He should have aimed center mass. That's after the fact. We can have the debate on what you think should have happened. I think he shouldn't have done this. I think he should have done this. The fact remains, he was stopped by the use of a pepper ball. It appears to be a pepper ball. Now, the one thing I didn't find anywhere was surgery. Let me see if I can find that. Protester blind. Let's see this, right? I'm going to pull up another story here and see if they echo any of this stuff. They say, can I pause this stupid thing? They say hundreds of people marched. The demonstrators came to the plaza. Later, an orange cone can be seen rolling up to up onto the plaza. The officer began firing munitions as they walked towards the crowd. It's not clear if the cones were thrown at by whom. The injured demonstrator is seen on video shouting through a megaphone along with others outside the building, where several officers are stationed in riot gear. The officer approached the crowd and grabbed another demonstrator by the arm, identified in a federal criminal complaint as Caitlin Sky Seats, pulling them onto the steps. In response, Rumler and a few other demonstrators stepped forward shouting. One of the officers fired a crowd control weapon, striking Rumler several feet away. Rumler grabs his face and falls to the ground. Notice they don't bring this up. This is what I'm sorry, guys. Am I wrong here? Can I slow this down even more and show you the guy they're grabbing, or I guess the woman, punches the cop? Can we just show that? Here you go. Charge and boom in the chest. Knocking the cop back. Let's go normal speed, just so we can make sure we're getting this right? Here he goes. Punch in the chest. I'm not saying the cop was injured or seriously harmed or whatever, but here's people attacking cops. They're not peaceful. And the people charging up after the fact are doing it in defense of the guy who just struck a cop. This officer grabs Rumler, leave him alone, etc. Protester says he's lost sight in his left eye. Indeed, he was in the hospital for 2 days and underwent 6 hours of surgery. She said he was released from the hospital on Tuesday while doctors work to determine what the fragments are made of to assess whether additional procedures are needed to remove them. Reese says he was hit in the left eye and suffered skull fractures. He's completely blind in that eye. There's a hole in his eyeball. Indeed, that's terrible. It is indeed terrible. And you'll often see these activists wearing goggles. I had aviator goggles that I would always wear. In fact, is it photo still on my... I don't know if I still use that photo, actually. No. I don't think so anymore. I have an old photo from 15 years ago of me on a rooftop. There's a photo for a magazine. They asked me to get a headshot of me in my riot gear. So I've got my backpack on, my camera, and I've got aviator goggles because you don't want to lose an eye. And so these people running around, you wear goggles to protect your eyes for everything. The point is this. Homie shouldn't have lost his eye. That sucks. Okay? People shouldn't also strike cops. But we're not talking about evil Gestapo stormtroopers going around and just mercilessly shooting people. We're talking about a political conflict where dude ran at cops as they were being physically attacked. I'm sorry. I ain't playing that game, and I'm not living in a world like this. I'm not going to live in a country where you can charge at me, and then I'm supposed to just be like, guess I'll wait to see what you're going to do.
I mean, that's facts, dude. Like, 100%. Yeah, I guess he's going to keep going on with that rhetoric. It's almost done anyway. But I agree. It's like, number one, it's like, why are you charging a police officer, bro? Like, just don't do that. Like, you're risking your life already for something stupid. Like, that's dumb as fuck. All right. Number two, I agree. I'm not gonna wait to really see like what they're kind of doing. Like, I'm watching what they're doing, and then I'm making an assessment, a quick assessment if I should pull out my gun or not and shoot them. Like, bro, it's like it's that simple. It's like, maybe we should wait and find out what they do, and then let's reverse time. And then we do it this way, since that way was stupid, we'll do it this way now. You know, it's like, no, bro. Like, no, that's not how it works, man. But let me know what you guys think, you know. Do you think this guy should have been shot, you know, and I guess shot with a pepper ball in the eye or whatever? I'll be posting this on YouTube and Rumble, and thank you guys for watching.